So up to we discuss the row level trigger and statement level trigger and differences. Okay, so we identified here. Okay, fine. And the next one is called as the so bind variables. Okay, so here binding variables basically why we want to use bind variables in our triggers or in our trigger programs means basically these variables are okay. So the variables are, are values, storing values while insetting, comma, updating and deleting data from a table. Okay. So whenever you want to insert data into table or updating data in the table and deleting data from the table. So in that cases, okay, so these bind variables are going to be storing your value a certain period of time. That means these values are storing not permanently, just a temporarily storing. That query execution time. That means when I want to perform, okay, one query on your table, the query execution time, how much it will take it here. So that period of time, your binding variables are holding your values. Okay, now? So instead of storing, I just go to say holding, holding your value. Certain period of time. That certain period of time means your query execution time. So your query execution time, okay, up to how much time it will take to execute a query, like 1 second or 1 millisecond, whatever it is. Okay, that particular time period only your values will be holding, and later it will be avoided here. That means that temporarily destroyed. So this is just for temporarily holding purpose. Okay, these variables are holding values while inserting time, while updating time, and while deleting time. Okay, now right. So how it is, for example, okay. So these are the two variables are binding variables. First one, we should bind with the colon new bind variable, and second one is called as a colon old bind variable. So colon new and colon old. These are the two bind variables. That's it. Okay, and the colon new and old, how these are working means. So new colon new bind variable. Okay, is holding values. Okay, otherwise we can say. So when we insert new values into a table, those values are temporarily temporarily holding, okay, holding into those values are temporarily holding in colon new bind variable. Okay, now so your colon compulsory you should bind with your variable name. So my variable name is new. I should bind with the colon compulsory. Okay, and this colon new bind variable is going to be holding your data or holding your values when it was holding means when we insert. So whenever we insert some new values into table, so those values are temporarily holding in colon new bind variables. Okay, and this bind variable, the syntax will be how I want to use means. So here I want to say colon new dot here which column value do you want to hold, which column value I want to store here, that column name. Okay, I want to pass it, that column name I want to pass it. So this is okay, colon new. And whereas come to old, okay, when you come to old binary. So this variable, when we delete, when we delete, okay, data from a table, okay, those deleted values, okay, are temporarily, temporarily holding, temporarily holding into or holding in colon old bind variable, colon old bind variable. And the syntax of this, how I want to use this means your colon old bind variable dot and which column, okay, value you want to hold, that column name you can pass it. Okay, now? So these are new and hold. But how these are going to be, okay, holding means, suppose one small example I will explain to you. Here observe this. For example, so you have a one location column is there. Yes, for example, my column name is LOC, and this in this column already HYD is location name was there. Okay, now suppose this is already existing data. Okay, now this is already existing data. So this existing data, suppose we need to update now. When we want to update means we are writing update query. So update so and so table, for example, it's EMP set, and LOC is equals to, I'm sending here Pune, okay now, and where LOC is equals to HYD. So now carefully observe. Now Pune is called as a new value and HYD is called as a old value. So this Pune, what I'm saying here, this is new value we are inserting in place of Hyderabad. So that means this is called as a new value. This is called as a new value. Okay, now this is called as a new value. And Hyderabad, this is called as a old value. Yes or no? This is called as a old value. Okay. So now here what we are going to do guys here. Here what we are going to do means, so we are going to do to updating our old value Hyderabad with the new value Pune. So in place of Hyderabad, I want to place Pune. But here careful observe, Pune is a new and HYD is a old. Now this Pune, okay, now this new value, when it was going to be placed in place of Hyderabad, when it was going to be placed in place of Hyderabad, first this Hyderabad should vacant this place. Okay, now? So my point understand. So Pune is a new value, right? So the new value I want to place in place of Hyderabad. Okay, now, but Pune I want to place, okay, in place of Hyderabad. First of all, what I want to do, that Hyderabad I need to vacant that place. Okay, now, so whenever Hyderabad vacant that place, then only Pune will come and store. Okay, now, so now Hyderabad I want to vacant now. So now, for example, this Hyderabad to vacant from this location, Hyderabad vacant. So it is going to vacant from this location. So assume like this, it will be taking here the 1 second of time, for example. So how much time it was taking to, okay, vacant this place means if you assume 1 second of time. So this 1 second of time, whatever the Pune was there, this Pune is going to be holding. this Pune is going to be holding this 1 second of time. Okay, it was holding under where it is. That means Pune is going to be wait now, because 1 second of time the Pune want to wait. Okay, yes or no? Because Hyderabad want to vacate that place. So Hyderabad vacant purpose, it was taking 1 second of time. So that means that 1 second of time, your new value Pune should wait. Yes or no? Should wait. So now where it was waiting means, yes, it was holding or waiting under colon new bind variable memory. Okay, na? So this is colon new. This is colon new bind variable memory. In this, your Pune was going to be waiting, holding or waiting. Up to how much period? Okay, up to how much time your Hyderabad vacant this place? Okay, na? So Hyderabad vacant this place. So how much time it will take? It's a 1 second of time. For example, it will take 1 second of time. So that means your Pune is also holding by new, okay, bind variable. How much time this value will be holding? Only 1 second of time. Okay, so now what happened? Okay, fine. In this 1 second of time, okay, your Hyderabad will be vacant, and in place of Hyderabad, okay, in place of Hyderabad, this Pune will go to place now. So Hyderabad is waiting, and Pune is going to be placed now. Okay, Pune is going to be placed. Okay, but Pune is going to be placing from this. Okay, that's okay, fine. So Pune is going to be placed. So Pune is going to be placing. Okay, now right. So placing, but after placing Pune, okay, after placing Pune in your location, but whatever the Hyderabad is there now, so this Hyderabad is going to be whatever the Hyderabad is vacant now. So this Hyderabad is going to be holding under colon old variable. Okay, now colon old binary variable memory is holding Hyderabad. But how much time it was holding this one means the Pune successfully or permanently, once it was placed into your location, then only Hyderabad will be destroyed from the old bind variable. Okay, because sometimes what happened, if Pune is not a permanently stored, then Hyderabad will be replaced again. Yes or no? Hyderabad will be replaced into Pune location. So that means Pune, okay, is permanently saved. That means up to permanently saving purpose, how much time it was taken. So that much time your Hyderabad is holding by old bind variable. Okay, Hyderabad is holding by old bind variable. So once Pune is permanently updated, okay, then only your Hyderabad will be deleted from your old bind variable memory. Okay, now. So this is what now bind variables. That's why we call it temporarily holding your values. Okay, your query action, it will be executed. How much time it will take the query execution time? Exactly that much time period your data or your values will be holding under binding variables. So once your action was complete, your operation is successfully complete, then automatically those bind variables are, okay, or variable values are automatically deleted or automatically disappear. Okay, now? So this is the two binding variables we can do use under triggers. Okay, fine. So, but these one more very important point here. There's two bind variables I can use. Okay, so these variables can use, okay, in row level triggers only, guys. Just point remember row level triggers only. So in statement level triggers, I cannot use, okay, and these are unable to use in your statement level trigger programs. So that is not possible in only, okay, row level triggers creation level. So whenever you create a row level triggers, at that moment only we can go to use here Okay, now we can go to use what we can say these bind variables. Okay, now only at which level? Row level only these bind variables are using, but statement level these are not using this. Okay, statement level these are not using, that should be remembered. Okay, right. So now we will see. So I will show you some examples on row level and some examples on statement level. Okay, we will see. The first of all, I'm showing here. So examples on row level triggers. Examples on row level triggers. Then you can see. So first example guys here. Okay, example one. So what is my first example here? I want to create, okay, a trigger. I want to create a trigger, okay, to restricted insert operation, okay, insert operation on a table, operation on a table, if if new salary, if new salary is less than 2, new salary is less than 5,000. Okay, now? So first of all, question carefully understand, guys. So my program is what now? I need to create a trigger object to restricted insert operation. So which DML command I need to restricted means I want to restricted insert operation I need to restrict here. So insert operation I want to restricted on particular table. But when I want to restrict it, guys, here, okay, when I want to restrict it means if new salary is less than 5,000. So whenever your new salary is less than 5,000, at that moment, you need to restrict your trigger object. Okay, you need to restrict your trigger object. Understand now? So this is my requirement. Let me come out and see how we can write the program. First of all, in my database, so in my database, list of tables I want to see. So these are some information we have here. Okay, fine. Now, okay. So now, first of all, I'm creating one sample table as here. So create table. So EMP11, employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. So now we can see my table successfully created, guys, here. And later I'm inserting few details into employee table, sending values, some ID and email and salary. So ID 1021, the name is called as Smith. The salary, for example, 25,000. 1022, the name is Alan. The salary was 15,000. 1023, okay. The name is Ford and salary was 10,000 rupees. Okay, so like this, we already having some data 1024, and the salary was going to be having here. Okay, for example, name. So Miller, the salary was 4,000 rupees. Okay, right. So this is my table, and I permanently store my data into table, and the table name is EMP11. Okay, now so this is EMP11 is already existing some data. EMP11 is already existing some data. Okay, now so that is what now. So there are 4 employees, and their salaries, one employee salary 25, 15, 10, and 4. Some okay salaries are there. So now what I want to do now on this table, there is no trigger restriction. Yes or no? We don't have any trigger restriction. There is no restrictions. So on this table, there is no trigger. So just now we created this table. Now what I want to do, guys, here, after creating this table, on this table, I want to go for to create. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to create one trigger object on this table to restrictions of insert operation. That means whenever the user is performing insert operation while inserting time, that means when he was inserting some data, okay, into this table. So at that moment, what I want to do, my insert operation, I want to restrict. Insert operation, I want to restrict. So how we can restrict it? Okay, insert operation means with the help of my trigger object. Okay, na? Right. So, but how I'm restricted here based on the condition. So when your salary, when you're inserting, okay, salary is less than to 5,000. So immediately your operation will not be allowed. That means your operation will restricted here. Okay. So now how we can go to create a trigger option. So now I'm creating my trigger. Okay. Now I'm creating trigger. Create or replace. So trigger and trigger name T or insert, TRIN insert. And here you can use anything here before and after. So any key you can use before key or after key. And which operation restricted insert operation on which table EMP11 table. Okay, right. And now this is my for each row because it is my row level trigger. So I want to use for each. And after that, I need to begin. And here I want to give a condition. What is the condition? If the colon new dot salary is less than to 5,000, then okay. So here I'm using my colon new bind variable. And this is I already said to you. This bind variable we are using to holding your values while inserting time. So whenever user inserting the values into table, and which column I want to hold a salary column. So the salary column values I am holding under this variable memory. Okay, temporarily holding here. So temporarily holding in this memory, which column data, salary column data I am holding in this new colon new variable. Okay, now right. So after holding that value, I'm checking with the given conditional value. Okay, so whatever user inserted, the inserting salary, that inserting salary means new salary. So that new salary I'm holding, okay, under colon new bind variable. Okay, now. So the new colon new bind variable, what it will do? It will holding your salary column value and holding here, and that value I'm comparing with the conditional value. I'm comparing with conditional value. Okay, now, right. Suppose your newly inserted value is less than to 5,000. Suppose newly inserted value is less than to 5,000. Then immediately, that means less than to 5,000 means condition true. Yes or no? My new salary is less than to 5,000 means condition is true. When condition true, immediately what I want to do, I want to stop my operation. That means my insert query execution, I need to stop. Okay, so how to stop your query execution? Okay, how to stop your query execution? And now tell me guys here, whenever you want to stop a program execution, so which basis I can stop it? How your program execution will be stopped? Come on guys, any guessing? If my program execution will be stopped, when it will be stopped, my program execution guys? In general, your Java, .NET, database, in any language. If my program execution will be stopped means what it was happened. Come on, which concept is there to stop your execution? To stop your execution process. Which concept is there? Very good, Sandeep. Only one person is telling. If your Java program execution, okay, will stop, that means it is going to stop means for which purpose it will stop? When it was stopping your execution. Come on, concept is there now. We already discussed that concept. When my program execution is stopped at runtime level, only one person guessing. Exceptions here, exception. When my program execution will stop, when that program is occurred, exception. So whenever the runtime error is occurred, execution error is occurred, at the time your program execution will not be continued. The program execution will be stopping. So that is called as what? Exceptions we discuss now. So here also, my new salary is less than to 5,000. That means, but the new salary, how I'm going to inserting by using insert query. By using insert query. Okay, now. So by using insert query. So by using insert query, I'm sending new salary. Okay, now by using insert query, I'm sending new salary. And this new salary is less than to 5,000 means immediately my insert query execution, I need to stop. Insert query execution, I need to stop. But how we can stop your execution of query means we need to raise your exception. Okay, now if I want to stop my execution of the query means definitely I need to I need to raise an exception. When you raise an exception, then your query execution will not be due. That means your operating system stopping your execution process. So whenever query is not executed, then automatically that query through whatever data we are inserting, data also not executed. Understand now? So how to fire your exception now? I want to fire here. I want to fire exception. Then only my query will not execute. My query execution will be stopped. So now how to fire your exception means, did you remember guys here, we are discussing one method. The method is called in exception handling, rise underscore application underscore error. So this method, what we said, it was rising exception, but not a handling exception. Can you remember anybody? Rise underscore application underscore error. The statement, what purpose we are using? The statement will be rising exception. Okay, the which exception is occurred, that exception will be rise, but cannot handle. But cannot handle. Yes or no? Come on, guys. Yes or no? Yes. I think some people have forgot it. Once you can recall your exception handling concept, so there you can clearly see that. Okay. Now here some exception number as per user defined exception number and user defined exception message. What I want to say, new salary. Okay. Simple and fast. Not less than to 5,000. Okay, na? Some message I'm passing, user defined message. Okay, fine. And after that, I want to end my big if block as a simple if na end if statement first of all, and after that end your begin statement. Then you can execute your program. But what happened you can see. So my program, that means my trigger object is successfully executed. So trigger created successfully. Now I need to test now. So which operation I need to restricted here insert. But when I want to restricted insert operation on EMP 11 table means when you are newly inserted salary. When you are newly inserted salary, which is less than to 5,000, then immediately exception will be fired. The exception will be fired. But then, so when exception is fired means your execution will be stopped. Your exception will be fired means your execution will be stopped. Okay, na? So suppose your condition is not true. That means your condition is false. When condition is false, then your exception will not fired. Okay, exception when it was fired, when your condition true, exception is fired. If condition is not true, then exception is not fired. Because here I'm using simple if. Simple if is having only true block. Simple if is having only true block. There is no false block. Yes or no? So that's why. So when condition true, fired. If condition is false, not fired. Okay, now, right. Now let me see, guys. I'm inserting. Insert into EMP11, sending values 1025. The name is Scott. And the salary, if I'm sending 4,800 rupees, I'm sending. So then what it was going to be happen, guys, here, while you're sending this data, what happened? Here, new bind variable dot salary. That means in this salary column, this one. So this value is storing under your bind variable. Okay, na? Storing under bind variable. That means new bind variable storing which column data? Salary column data. Then salary column data, how much here, guys? How much here salary column data? I'm inserting 4,800. So 4,800 less than my condition value, how much here? 5,000. Okay, now? Now tell me, guys, here. 4,800 less than 5,000. Condition is true or false? Come on, guys, come on. Condition is true or false? Simple logic. Condition true or false? Yes, condition is true. Yes or no? The condition is true. So when condition true, immediately the true block, whatever was written, exception statement I written. So immediately rise underscore application underscore error message, that means error statement is going to be fired. Is fired. That means is going to be activated. It was going to be invoking now. So whenever it was invoked here, whenever it is invoked here, then what happened? This rise underscore application error, the statement, what it will do, whatever the query execution is there, insert query execution, this query execution will be stopped. This query execution will be stopped. Okay, now the query execution will be stopped. That means the query will not execute. So your operating system, it will be stopping your execution. Why? Because, okay, why? Because it was fired your exception. Understanding now? So now I'm going to execute what happening. You can see. Okay, now I'm going to execute. Yes, my exception error method going to be firing here. Okay, so whatever the number I was given, minus 20457 minus 20457. This is exception number, and my message new sal not less than to 5,000. So new sal not less than to 5,000. The error message is displayed. Okay, at your Scott TRIN. TRIN is called as a trigger name. Okay, na? Trigger name. Okay, so in the line number 3 for each row, each and every row checking variation for each row. And now here message error during execution of the trigger. See, observe your error is occurred when it is occurred execution level. That means query execution level, your exception is, or your exception means error. Your error is executed, or your error is occurred during execution of the trigger object. What is my trigger object? TRIN. Okay, na? So now, so this data will not execute it. Suppose if you want to come back here and see your table EMP11. So data, the data is inserted or not inserted, guys? Okay, na? Not inserted. Not inserted means your query execution is not happened. So that means your query not successfully executed. So when the data will be inserted, when your query is successfully executed, then only data will be executed. Then only data will be stored. But if query is not executed, then how data will store? Okay, so not happen. So now same thing, let me come out and see. Now this time, the next level, I'm sending here 7,000 rupees. I'm sending. Same as this, the 7,000 is holding into new new binary variable. Now tell me 7,000 less than 5,000. Condition true or false? 7,000 less than 5,000. Condition true or false? Condition false. So condition false means, now tell me your true block statement in your simple if. True block statement is executed or not executed? In simple if condition, true block is executed or not executed? Not executed. Because true block statement, when it is executed, when your condition is true, then true block is executed. But here, 7,000 less than 5,000, condition is not true. So condition is not true means here true block statement will not executed. So now true block statement will not executed means your exception is fired or not fired. Tell me guys, your true block statement is not executed means your exception is fired or not fired. Yes, exception is not fired. So exception is not fired means my query is successfully executed. Yes or no? Exception is not fired means my query is successfully executed. Yes, query successfully executed because exception is not firing. Guys, minimum somebody still have a confusion. Why are you confusion, guys? Exception handling we discuss. Yes or no? Yet the point is what now? When a condition is true, my true block is executed. In true block, what I written? Exception statement I written, so that exception is occurred. and exception is occurred means your execution will be stopped. Okay, now. But now in this case, what happened? My condition is not true. Not true means true block is not executed. So true block is not executed means my exception is not occurred. When exception is not occurred, then query successfully executed now. Exception handling concept is recall all of you. Then you can understand. Otherwise, you cannot understand. Confusion. Exception. What is the mean of exception? Runtime error. When runtime error is occurred, your execution will be stopped now. Then here what happened? Here what happened? I'm inserting 7,000. 7,000 less than 5,000. Condition false. Condition false means this is which condition I'm using? Simple if condition I'm using. Simple if block. So simple if block is having what having? True block is having only. No, there is no false block. Okay. So now true block I was written exception statement. Okay. When this exception statement is fired, when condition true only, true block is executed. But your condition what? False. False means this true block statement is not executed. That means your exception statement will not fire. If not executed your exception statement, then happily execute your program now. Exception concept is what here? If there is no exception in my program execution was successfully done or not? Come on, guys, done or not? Yes, sir. When my program execution will be stopped, in my program, if any exception is occurred, then only my program will be stopped. But your program is not having any exception, then successfully executed your program and showing output. So that is the concept of exception handling. And you forgot it. Okay. So now you can see what happened. So condition false. So the statement will not be executed. When the statement is not executed, it means that what now? There is no exception in my program. There is no exception in my query. So there is no exception in the query means the query is successfully executed. Now see, query successfully executed. One row is created. Okay. Now this row, let me come out and call. What is our table? Select star from EMP11. So now see, 1025 got 7,000 is successfully executed. Okay, now. So this is what, guys, here, how to restrict your insert operation. Okay, based on some condition, how you want to restrict it. So that mechanism is telling by your, okay, the triggers. And this is the way I was restricted my insert operation. Okay, this is the way I'm restricted here, insert operation. So when I'm going to testing this for you also, then you can come out and test now. So I'm going to testing. If you test here, okay, first what I said, suppose if you give 4,000, then it will showing here error. That means not allowed. It was showing some exception error. Okay, now. But when I'm passing 7,000, it is allowed. Okay, this is query testing now. Okay, now, right. So this is one example, guys. Same to same, how you restricted insert operation. Same as now I want to restrict it. Okay, so delete operation. That means one more example. In this example, create. Okay, create trigger, create a trigger to restricted delete operation on a table when we try to delete the employee Smith, delete the employee Smith details from a table. Okay, now. So in this case, what I'm asking in this example, create a trigger to restrict a delete operation on a table. When I want to restrict a delete operation, when we try to delete the employee Smith details from the table. So employee Smith details from the table. So at this moment, delete operation is don't allow. When user try to deleting Smith details. Understand na? Now let me come. This is present my table. Right? So now on this table, I'm creating my trigger. On this table, I'm creating my trigger. So create or replace trigger P or del. Okay, now, before or after which operation restricted delete operation on which table EMP 11, and for each row compulsory because it is a row level trigger, and begin after that you have to say. But now you can see Smith employee data whenever you deleted, then immediately fired your exception. Okay, when you deleted Smith employee. Other than Smith employee, if any other employee data deleted, then you can give a permissions to delete command. That means we don't want to fire any exception. So exception I want to fire when user try to deleted Smith employee details. Okay, now? So in this case, what happened? Condition is what now? Deleted data where it will be holding old bind variable. So deleting data where it was holding old bind variable. Which name? Okay, which one base e name? Old dot e name is equal to which name I want to give guys here? Smith. If user try to deleting Smith employee data, and what you say, okay, we cannot so here I'm using some message. What is my message? We cannot delete Smith employee details. So that was I'm going to firing now. Okay, right. And now simply end my trigger and to execute. Okay, now that was happening. Let me try. Okay, let me test now. Delete from EMP 11 where E name is equals to Smith. Okay, now now tell me which employee I'm trying to delete Smith employee. So that means when you try to delete a Smith employee, your condition is Smith. Yes or no? This employee name holding by your old bind variable. Yes or no? Old bind variable holding which column name, which column value? Name column. Okay, now? And name column, which name I was given in the condition? Smith. So that means here what happened, guys, here? It is Smith. Smith is equals to Smith. Smith is equals to Smith. Tell me, condition true or false? Come on, guys. Condition true or false? Yes, condition is true. Condition is true. Condition true means what happened? Your true block is executed. Your true block is executed. The true block, what I was written, rise underscore application underscore error statement. So this statement, what it will do, it was firing exception, but not handling. It was firing exception, but not handling. Understand now? Let me see. Let me see what happened here. So Smith, I try to delete it immediately. error -20358. We cannot delete Smith employee details. Error during execution of the trigger, so and so trigger. Okay, now so it is not happening. But the same thing, guys, here. Suppose instead of Smith, if any other employee, for example, I'm going to take here Ward. If I'm giving my condition is Ward, and this employee name storing by, because delete command now, so deleted data holding into old variable. So now this is storing Word. Now tell me, Word is equals to Smith. Condition true or false? Word is equals to Smith. Condition true or false? Condition false. So Word is equals to Smith. Condition false. False means your exception statement will be fired or not fired. Yes, not fired. So not fired means my command is successfully executed now. Yes, and now we can see my command successfully executed. So one row is deleted. And let me come out and see your EMP11. So, okay, Word employee successfully deleted. Okay, now, so this is the delete operation restrictions, how to apply. Okay, so these are what we called as, guys, here trigger advantage. Okay, how it was going to be validating your data. Okay, and based on that validation of data, your operation will be restricted here. Your operation will be restricted here. Okay, right. So this is, okay, one more example on your how it was using your binding variables in row level trigger. So your insert operation and delete operation we restricted. Insert operation, delete operation we restricted. Okay, na? But how to restricted update operation also. Okay, how to restricted update operation. Okay, that example we will see in tomorrow session, guys. Okay, so tomorrow we will see how to restricted update command on particular condition wise, how to restrict it. Okay, then after that I will show you some statement level trigger examples also. Okay, now, right, guys. So I stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you, guys.